South Asia is an interesting region in many ways. Some of the world's most extraordinary people live here, and sometimes they make headlines with unusual events in their cities. Here is one such story for you: Pakistan. It's a densely populated place where the problems brought about by the population are experienced firsthand, and chaos is palpable. In fact, according to studies conducted by various official institutions, this country has the most polluted and dusty cities in the world. Pakistan's surface area is 796,000 square kilometers, and its population is enormous. It has a population of 240 million. If you're wondering how chaotic, unhygienic, or noisy a city can be, join us for this video tour. Let's take a trip to Lahore, Pakistan, and decide together if it really is the most polluted city in the world. Here is a street corner in the early morning. There isn't a garbage container in sight. Trash is thrown in bags on the side of the street, and flies are flying over it. This creates environmental pollution and releases bad gases. To make matters worse, just beyond this garbage dump, a butcher slaughters animals in the open. In other words, the smell of the gases released by the garbage reaches the slaughterhouse. This invites contamination of the meat with germs. The meat is sold in an environment where it is in direct contact with the open air, exposing it to dust and exhaust fumes. The butcher wipes the counter with his bare hands and then cuts the meat with those same hands. Initially, the chickens are alive under the counter. Then the butcher takes the chicken out from under the counter and cuts it into pieces right there. Most butchers in Pakistan are like this, and you will have to get used to it if you plan to live there. Of course, it will be your choice whether to buy meat there. However, the reality is that when you put a camera in the middle of the street and start filming, people will smile at you. The fact that their area is dirty does not make them an unhappy society. People smile or say hello when they see the camera. They prefer to use motorcycles for transportation, and the noise of motorcycles never diminishes during the day. In the Pakistani city of Lahore alone, there are more than 6 million motor vehicles on the road. Of these, 4.2 million are two-wheeled motorcycles. Therefore, when you go to Lahore, you will see dozens or even hundreds of motorcycles wherever you look. Of course, someone will be honking their horn and emitting odors from their exhaust the whole time. The horn issue especially is not something to be ignored. During traffic jams, people honk their horns for long periods of time and don't stop until the traffic clears. If the sound of honking horns bothers you, you might get a headache on your first day in Lahore, Pakistan. This creates extra noise pollution in the city. Details like these are precisely what create the real pollution in Lahore. The large number of vehicles in the city creates dust and pollutes the air with exhaust gases. Since most roads are old and poorly maintained, dust is kicked up wherever motor vehicles pass, filling people's lungs. Some say that spending a day in Lahore is equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes. International organizations and the World Health Organization advise against walking around Lahore without a mask. In this context, you should avoid exercising outdoors in Lahore, and you should always keep the windows of your home or hotel room closed. Of course, you should also wear double-layered masks outdoors. The extent of air pollution in Lahore is 16 times higher than the level accepted by the World Health Organization. According to scientists, cities with daily PM 2.5 values above 50 are uninhabitable and should be avoided. Any value above 50 poses a direct threat to human health. When the air pollution index in Lahore reaches the 400s, schools are closed and there are disruptions in the education and business sectors. Therefore, it can be said that it is impossible for an asthma patient to survive in Lahore. In fact, at least 128,000 people die every year in Lahore due to air pollution. Most of these deaths are from respiratory problems, such as asthma, bronchitis, and lung cancer. Some Lahore residents are so aware of this reality that they regularly wear masks, even though the pandemic is almost over. For them, living in Lahore is much more dangerous than the pandemic, as they could die from respiratory infections at any time. On average, people living in Lahore will live 7 years less than people in the rest of the world. For example, if the average life expectancy in your country is 70 years, people in Lahore will only live to be 60. Signboards, stalls, cars, and shop products are covered in dust. People constantly itch because of the dust. This is why Pakistani shopkeepers must constantly clean their packaged products. Otherwise, the accumulated dust will turn into mud, and the products will become unsellable. Moreover, there is no proper greenery in the city. Lahore is a largely industrial city, and Pakistan's most important factories are located there. The chemicals released by these factories significantly damage the city's plants and trees. To show that Lahore has significant hygiene and cleanliness problems, we need to address the atmosphere of the city. Animals like donkeys are used as porters in the city. These animals rest in garbage-filled areas. Donkeys are part of Pakistani traffic. You can even see them on the main streets alongside motorcycles and cars. Shopkeepers use these donkeys to transport goods in their makeshift carts. In Lahore, both donkeys and cats or dogs look extremely unhealthy and weak. If you look closely, you can easily see that they are emaciated. The better-off people carry their cargo on motorcycles. Some motorcycles have a 2-passenger apparatus on the back, reminiscent of the tuk-tuks of Vietnam and Thailand. Pakistanis use these motorcycles to carry passengers short distances and act as taxis. Of course, you should not trust these vehicles too much. Your life may be at risk in the event of a collision. For example, if a vehicle on the road has been in an accident, the driver may be waiting for help. Due to the abundance of population, it is impossible to avoid traffic accidents in Pakistan, and there are traffic accidents every day in Lahore. You can even see horse-drawn carriages like this in traffic. Pakistanis like to drive these carriages on special occasions, and they can go wherever they want. On the other hand, there are also problems with the concept of traffic lights in Lahore. Cars, motorcycles, and pedestrians stand in the same area in a chaotic manner. People do not move through traffic according to pedestrian paths and traffic lights, but rather according to momentary decisions. This creates chaos. As a result, there are traffic accidents and loss of life. Motorcycles, cars, and work vehicles pass by on all sides. There is no traffic light system, so you have to be very careful when crossing the street. Furthermore, open manhole covers are visible while walking on the road. If you're not paying attention, you could suddenly fall into one and go tumbling down. You should look very carefully under your feet while walking on the city's streets. You could step on anything at any moment. It could be leftover food, or a dead pigeon. You might even step on a dead mouse. The city's sanitation department must not be doing its job well because you even come face to face with dead animals. Maybe these simple creatures can't survive the noise and poor air quality of the city. Or maybe they get hit by cars in the heavy traffic. In Lahore, dogs and cats feed on garbage scraps. Probably no one takes care of them, and they can't live long in Lahore without contracting diseases. If you look up, you will see hawks and eagles in abundance. Since every corner of Lahore is littered with food waste and garbage, the city has become a feeding ground for these birds of prey. These birds of prey often land on the ground to look for food. With cats, dogs, birds, butchers, and fishermen's waste, mosquitoes, donkeys, and dead rats, you just want to escape the environment as soon as possible. Add to this the traffic chaos and torrential rains, and life in Lahore, Pakistan becomes unbearable. The local people may be used to it. However, a person from a Western country who moves to Lahore may not easily get used to the floods and difficulties of city life. Lahore residents are especially struggling with all the challenges of city life and the geography. When it rains, some try to save their crops, while others try to quickly get home through the heavy traffic. Others are waiting desperately for the rain to pass. Like every South Asian country, Pakistan experiences heavy rainfall, which sometimes leads to flooding. The country suffers greatly from this and often experiences flooding. After the rain, a boy poses for our camera, showing his despair or resentment toward the city he lives in. But don't worry, another handsome boy looks extremely cheerful. There's also this young veteran who sells bananas at his stall. He stands tall and looks positive for our camera. While observing the people there, I noticed that Pakistanis wear long clothing, both men and women. Here especially, women do not wear Western clothes, such as pants, t-shirts or shorts. At least I didn't see anyone wearing them. Old men, adults and children all wear shalwar-style long dresses. This style of dress may be related to their religious beliefs. Afghanistan has a similar style of dress, and both countries have adopted Islam. These clothes resemble the white abayas worn by Arab men, but come in various colors. They are probably very comfortable and allow men to easily move their leg and arm muscles. Also, Pakistani people's shoe culture may seem different to Westerners. Unlike Westerners, people here wear slippers on the streets instead of comfortable sneakers. The genetic makeup of the people is very similar to that of Indians and Bangladeshis who live nearby. Despite being in different countries, the genetic structure of the people is largely the same. Almost 100% of people have dark skin and black hair. Some men have no beards, while others have stubble. Women in the country mostly wear hijabs. They either wear burqas that cover their entire body or a head covering over a normal dress. Or they wear a head covering over normal clothing. As I walk the streets, however, I realized there is an imbalance in the ratio of men to women in Lahore. Either women do not go out much in this city, or Pakistani women do not prefer to live in Lahore. 8 out of 10 people you meet in the bazaar are men. The city seems to be male-dominated. Although the asphalt on the main streets seems adequate, water puddles on side roads pose a risk of accidents for motorcyclists. At least motorcyclists take care to wear helmets. I noticed this a lot while I was there. Another world awaits you in the side streets of Lahore. Look at this view. The buildings are discolored, the cables are tangled, and only a narrow road remains between the buildings. This tangled mess of cables exists in almost all South Asian countries. It's hard to understand why they still use this kind of wiring system in 2026. In Lahore, Pakistan, electricity cables are strung over buildings. This makes the city look backward. Additionally, motorcyclists can come up behind you quickly and hit you while you're walking on the road. There is also garbage on the ground. There is even some red substance on the ground. It doesn't look like fluid, it looks a bit like blood. Maybe it belongs to an animal or human. Examining the motorcycle seats in the street reminds you of Lahore's dust. Imagine inhaling all of the dust on these motorcycle seats at once. Some people have also left bags like these in front of buildings. On side streets, motorcycles are often parked facing each other, making it difficult for pedestrians to pass. Pakistan is so crowded that manufacturing businesses exist even in the side streets. Many people want to migrate to Turkey, Greece, or other countries in Western Europe. Some are caught illegally entering these countries and are deported back to Pakistan. If you ask people on the streets of Lahore, you will definitely find someone who has had this kind of experience. People in Lahore do jobs that require a lot of physical effort, yet they earn very little. Due to its large population, the Pakistani government is unable to provide jobs for all its citizens. So they try to earn money by setting up mobile businesses on the streets. Like this man, for example. These young friends, for instance, are outside making and selling doughy treats over a fire on a sheet of metal. It must be too hot because he has set up a fan in the open area to cool off while working. Of course, don't expect the environment to be hygienic. You will either buy these foods and eat your fill, or you will probably go hungry. At some points, there are drinking fountains and people drink from the same cup. In communal drinking areas, people drink from the same metal cup. This is another example of a lack of hygiene. Some people sell live birds instead of food. These birds are not a special breed. Pakistani men set traps for these birds and catch them. Then they put the birds in a net and sell them in busy parts of the market. If you wish, you can purchase some of the birds and release them. However, even if you pay to save them, people like this will continue to catch and sell the birds. They especially go to places with a lot of tourists, exploit tourists' emotions, and ask for money in exchange for releasing the birds. In some parts of Lahore, Pakistan, the sewage does not run underground. It runs right where you step. You can tell immediately that these places are sewers because of the smell. Sewage drains are normally supposed to run far underground, but in this city, they run above ground. Imagine accidentally losing your balance and stepping into sewage. Many of you would probably feel a sense of dread. Just the thought is enough to take you out of this world. The odor from these open sewers spreads deadly bacteria into the environment. The air temperature in Lahore facilitates the spread of these bacteria. Even in the coldest month of the year, the average temperature hovers around 12 degrees Celsius. At this time of year, it rises to 40 degrees Celsius. Most people look exhausted due to the heat. Almost none of them look energized or vigorous. They are all lethargic and go about their daily routines with a lethargic demeanor. Like the chicken butcher at the beginning of the video, the fishermen in Lahore clean fish in a public place, not in a fish market. The pungent smell of raw fish adds to the odor pollution. They clean the fish with a machete-style knife on a wooden floor. These fish are caught off the coast of Karachi, a port city in southern Pakistan, and shipped throughout the country. Lahore is one of these cities. Fish sellers do not provide bags for anyone who buys fish. The buyer carries the fish in his hands. Pakistanis do not hesitate to spit on the streets of Lahore, which are already filled with negativity. This also gives an idea about the level of their moral and etiquette education. The locals are very accustomed to life there and are not bothered by anything they do. They seem to be trying to make the already dirty city even dirtier. This guy, for example, urinates in the street instead of finding a toilet. I managed to film him without being seen. All of these actions seem normal to Pakistanis. Others hang out alone on the outskirts of the city. I don't know what this old man is doing, but he looks thin. His beard is long, and he is probably homeless. While people living normal lives in Lahore are living the lesser of two evils, the homeless face a world that is literally worse than bad. They search through garbage on the sides of streets for food or items they can use. They poke through garbage bags with their bare hands for minutes at a time. The alleyways in Lahore are often narrow. After entering one, you may find yourself in an even narrower one. These narrow alleys are usually filled with young children. While looking around, I saw children playing in the alley and spending their time among the trash. Sadly, there are no proper parks around the children's homes. It's difficult to comprehend why there are so few garbage bins in the city and so much garbage on every corner. The city is shrouded in a great haze and a brown pall. Even the buildings are shades of brown, and in Lahore, you can't see any colors that make you feel good. This must be why Pakistanis stare at people with white skin or blonde hair. The local people, especially the men, greatly admire people with white skin. When they see you, some do not blink for minutes and stare at you. That's exactly how they look at you. There is envy of white-skinned people all over Pakistan. Even cosmetic stores and shops use posters of white women for marketing purposes. Traders often market skin-whitening cosmetics. Just as Pakistani men want to be with white women, Pakistani women want to look like Western women. Another reason Pakistanis are interested in foreigners is that cities like Lahore receive few tourists. The country receives few tourists in general, so the locals always see people who look like them. For example, a handsome man with his hair combed to the side was looking at us innocently. They stare, even at men. This may seem illogical to you because you may think, we're men and they're men. There's no meaning behind it. However, sodomy is very common throughout Pakistan. In this country, whether in Lahore, Karachi or Islamabad, you will see groups of men walking down the street holding hands. This is because they are interested in their own sex. You will even see transgender men on the streets of Pakistan. They are called hijras throughout South Asia. They live in Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. We respect everyone's lifestyle, so don't be surprised if you see men who are attracted to each other while you're there. When this group of men realized that the camera was filming them, they started smiling. I know Pakistani people are friendly, trustworthy and warm, but if you go to Lahore, be careful with your wallet and bag. Among so many people, all kinds of things can happen to you in a matter of seconds before you realize what's happening. There are also irrelevant creatures in the city like these ducks. They wander among the people, and Lahore must be their best chance. Pakistan is taking steps to address dust and air pollution in Lahore. People are encouraged to buy electric vehicles to reduce harmful emissions from motor vehicles. The Pakistani government has started offering favorable loans and incentives to encourage people to buy electric vehicles. In this video, we explain the air, dust and noise pollution in Lahore and the city's unhygienic conditions through the lives of local people using our own footage. If you would like us to cover similar topics around the world, please like the video and subscribe to our channel.